The dream is dead. The Dodgers have lost in 2025. Not only have they lost a game, they lost a series. Not only have they lost a series, they've lost 2 series in a row. It is currently April 10th, 2025 when we're recording this. The sky is falling. Season's over. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. My name's Ryan Berchinger. She's Monse Bolaños. Yeah, let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. The Dodger Zone.
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
It's gonna be sick.
Monse, just a couple weeks ago, after the Dodgers had started the season 2-0 in Japan, I had been saying, I said multiple times, like, hey, it is really possible that the Dodgers will, for every single day of the calendar year of 2025, have the most wins in baseball. And here we are 2 weeks later, and not only do they not have the most wins in baseball, they don't have the most wins in their own division. They're not even at first. They're not even at second. Everything's falling apart.
Yeah, everything's falling apart. The sky is falling. They were supposed to go undefeated the entire season. They were not supposed to lose a game. The way they started things, it's so funny. It's so silly. I mean, I am surprised, I'm not gonna lie, that the Giants are on the run that they're in our division. I am surprised about that. Not surprised about the Padres. Like, listen, the Padres were good last year, and we fought them tooth and nail, and they were the better team, and we just prevailed. I don't know what to tell you, but the Padres were the better team. And here we are. And so the Padres don't surprise me. The Giants surprise me a little bit in this division. But isn't that what baseball is? Like, we talk about how in other sports, typically the better team wins. In baseball, that doesn't happen. 2 years ago, the World Series was the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. They weren't even in the playoffs last year. Parity is part of the sport. And the Dodgers came out to a nice hot start, and it's so great because one of the best starts from a defending champion. But in reality, there's a lot of good baseball teams out there. I know the Dodgers are the best ones, but there's a lot of good baseball teams out there, and everything has to go well in order for you to win. A lot of individual performances have to come together in order for you to win. And, after a hot start, it's cooled down. But don't you feel a little bit better about that? Because let's hypothetically say we were right now, I don't know, 12-0, 13-0, whatever. The conversation, the topic, and what people would be saying would be expectations that would be unattainable. So by doing this, it's all right, we've come back to reality, the start of the baseball season. It's a big one. I'm not mad about the dip. I think it's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely. And it's for one, incredibly human, and in a selfish way, hey, it gives us something to talk about, right? If this team just keeps winning, it would be more of just us being like, haha, we're having so much fun. Take that, everyone else. But of course, it is still a ton of fun to watch this team. We did, since the last time we recorded, we had a Shohei Ohtani walk-off home run on a bobblehead night, which we will get into that later. But let's, off the top here, just look at the reasons why it feels so weird to even talk about the standings at any point in April. Quite frankly, I don't look at standings in any sort of serious matter until August, quite frankly. So it feels odd to even mention it, but I think that's just what's so funny about what's going on right now is that the Padres and Giants are not only both winning more than the Dodgers. They're winning more than literally everyone else. It's just funny that the Dodgers are in the division of the two hottest teams to start off the season as well. But looking at those two teams, you have the Giants have already played the Cincinnati Reds 6 times. And the Reds had already in this season 3 straight 1-0 losses. So they got benefit of the schedule there. The Padres have had a very similar schedule to what the Dodgers have had. They've had the Cubs, they've had the Braves, and the Padres and Dodgers were the reasons why the Braves started the season without a win for so long. They've had some Guardians. They just played the A's, and I mean, sure they won yesterday, but it was a 1-run game. It was 2-1. And then the game before that, they got completely shelled by the A's. Dylan Cease did not look good. He got rocked in the first inning. Every team will have their flaws. Every team will have their shortcomings. I think it is interesting that, the Dodgers then got really comfortable at home. They were winning a ton. They got on a plane and flew back east. They faced a good Phillies team and a Nationals team with some legit young talent. But they looked sluggish and sloppy in this entire road stand. And sometimes that happens. It is what it is.
Ryan, it is early on in the season, and our guys are not ready for the cold. They're just not ready for the cold. I'm not ready for the cold. And I can't imagine you're from LA. We're getting 85 degrees on this beautiful day. Oh, go and play an early matinee game, but I'm going to need you to suit up in a scuba outfit because that's how cold it is. Listen, I don't know what it's like to live in cold weather. I don't. But I do hear my friends who came from the East Coast. They're like, man, you lose your coldness, your what you can put up with. You lose it quickly. Playing in the cold is hard. And so it's a long season. And this is the beginning of the Dodgers going into cold areas and figuring out how to play. It's very early on, but I think the cold is a big factor as to why the Dodgers have struggled in some of these early series. They're still coming out of the wonderful weather that we have in LA. And it's okay. It's very early on, but it's too cold for them. That's literally that's all it is. It's just too cold. It's too cold.
And that's a legit thing. And we hear that every year too, across Major League Baseball. Especially for the last few years when offensive numbers were down in the first month of the season, it's a lot of people just bashing the sport in general, being they strike out too much. But then the more rational discussion is a lot of these guys are playing in pretty shitty weather to play in. And also when it's cold, the ball doesn't fly. So it's a legit thing, and with that trip to Philly and to Washington, I wasn't surprised, especially in that first game against Washington. They had to get up extra early that day. They had to go do something else that we don't need to talk about. And then they showed up to the stadium and they didn't play well, probably because they'd been up for hours at that point. So, I'm not concerned. Obviously, there are some specifics that we can get into that I find interesting for where the team is at. But yeah, in an overall manner, of course, it's facetious to even in any level have any sort of serious concern about this team just because of where they're at in the standings and these games and whatnot. Even as sloppy as some play looks, you can't really have concern.
Right. You don't want to make these harsh opinions or decisions on what's going on with the team because it's so early. And throughout the entire season, we're going to see this, right? Dips in certain players, highs with certain players. And so listen, I'm the thing that I'm very glad to see with the Dodgers is that our bullpen is still so strong. Coming off the World Series win into this, the bullpen is so great. Now there's individual players that are Kike Hernandez right now. I know he's in for Freddie Freeman because Freddie Freeman is injured, but Kike, it's either a home run or a strikeout. That's all. That's it. That's all you're gonna get. And it sucks, but it's so early on. And I'm not worried about it. I'm not. It's. This is gonna happen. I feel like this is something that, like, Dodger fans, get ready. It's a very long season. There is going to be ups and downs, and so as long as a certain part of the team is successful, we have a chance to win. So maybe like the bottom half of the lineup isn't successful in hitting, but if the bullpen and the top of the lineup is like doing well, we're going to be okay. But that's going to be happening. We're going to be talking about how, like, hey, the bullpen sucked this week, but you know what? All 1 through 8, 9, they all delivered. And so we're still in it. So it's just going to be like realizing that the Dodgers, the World Series champions, have all over the map, have stellar players. And it's just going to be like, we're going to have to deal with the growing pains up and down with certain parts of the roster, but it's a long season and we're good. We're chilling. It's all good. You know, like, hopefully Kike can, like, get a hit versus just a home run or a strikeout. But it's early on. We're going to get rid of the guy. We love him.
Exactly. And to that point, and I think that brings up a good point that I want to get into is Freddie Freeman's coming back into the lineup on Friday. It's been announced. Hunter Fiducia, hey, thanks for hanging out, Hunter. He's going back to AAA. Freddie Freeman's going to step back in the lineup just in time, too, for his bobblehead night Friday night. Thank God. So that's great that Freddie comes back. The big thing, yes, we haven't had Freddie in the lineup for the last week. And you really see just how important his presence is. Obviously, of course, because, you know, he's a future Hall of Famer and he sees a stalwart in the middle of the lineup. But the other thing is that it allows them to really lengthen the lineup much more. Notice how Shohei Ohtani has 4 home runs and 5 RBIs. And that's because guys are not getting on in front of him. Mm-hmm. Tommy Edman has to bat third when Freddie Freeman's not in the lineup. You're able to move Tommy and ideally, because we've talked about this in the past, I like Tommy Edman batting 9th in the order, even though, yes, it pushes him down so far, but it puts him right in front of Ohtani. I understand, like, he's tied for the team lead in home runs. I think he's tied for the league lead in home runs right now, quite frankly. Yeah. So having him in the middle of the lineup, of course, is great. But with Freddie in the lineup every day, you're able to shift Tommy later into the lineup and have a bit more production in that bottom third, so that there's more guys on base for Ohtani. Another guy who hasn't been producing, I understand Andy Pages has homered in back-to-back games. But outside of that, it's been kind of a rough go with Andy. And especially so on the defensive side. We've seen that really affect the Dodgers through this last week. The team defense as a whole, like, even Miguel Rojas had some sloppy team defense this week. Like, if the team defense as a whole has been an issue, I'd like to just write that off to could be very much the cold weather. That does affect guys in the field as well.
Absolutely.
And early in the season, like, sometimes these sort of this sort of sloppy play can carry over from spring training sometimes, where guys are still very much getting into the swing of things. I'm still going to trust that Miguel Rojas can be an elite defender, as little as he's done with the bat already this season. But Pages is a different story, because he's still somebody who we're not really sure if he can fully man center field on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. I think there is a very simple solution to this, and luckily it is helped by the fact that this guy has also been producing offensively like crazy in AAA, and that is Ha-Seong Kim, who we already know is projected to be a phenomenal defensive infielder. Just the reason why he's in AAA to start the season is he's still getting accustomed to major league pitching. Just want to make sure that the bat is there. Yeah. And the bat has been more than there already in AAA. His numbers have been great to start the year off in AAA. So the solution eventually is to bring Kim on up, give him second base every day, and put Tommy Edman in center field. It's a very simple solution. You don't have to, as fun as Luis Robert would be, you don't have to really spend like crazy in prospect capital to bring in a center fielder at any point. I mean, we'll look at that more in a few months. I think talking about trades in April is wild. But in terms of a short term that could also be a long-term solution, the easy answer is bring Kim on up and put Tommy in center field.
I mean, that's one of the many advantages that the Dodgers have, because Tommy Edman, we're going to be talking about these situations throughout the season where somebody goes down and we're going to be like, just put Tommy Edman there and then put someone else in the next one. Yeah. Like, we're in a very lucky position. You know what I mean? Like, because this is going to be something we're going to say throughout the entire season. And right now, that is the solution. I don't disagree with you. And looking at the top home run hitters, they also got Hernandez. I mean, like, listen, thank you, Papi, because you have been a little savior, as you were throughout the, season last year. But they also got 5 homers, and also, like, Kike's right below that with 4. Again, it's literally a home run or a strikeout. But, like, we're seeing players who are not supposed to be our stars coming in these moments. And that's really like what we have to keep in mind throughout the season, when it's like, yo, like, we have this championship caliber roster, we shouldn't be losing. When in reality, it's like, it's a very long season, and we're actually going to see this a lot. Certain players coming in at moments and like the others are not very early on. But Tommy Edman, we're going to be talking about Tommy Edman filling in the spot whenever we have a hole. Just move Tommy Edman over there, and then we're going to move this person over here. And this is something we're just going to have to get used to, because Tommy Edman is our dude. He's our guy, man. And I agree with you, Ryan. If in a perfect scenario, Tommy Edman is our 9th batter. And it's not a typical 9th batter where you just put him in there because you want to get them out of the way. No, it's actually the perfect person you want before Shohei Ohtani. Yeah. Like, it's such a weird little situation that we have going on. But it's the beginning of the many times we're going to talk about Tommy Edman moving into a position to save the day, to save whatever little slump we're having. He's going to be the one that we're talking about saving the day.
Yeah. He's already on path to probably be an all-star this year, which is awesome. And yeah, I think he really does, because of the way where you're able to stagger handedness of the bats. By shifting Tommy at any point, he's probably the only guy in the majors who can feasibly hit in any single spot in the order. like truly.
Absolutely.
And he brings value in every single one of them. So really, really special to have, thankfully. Now, the one issue, and the other reason why Kim is not in the majors yet, is because there's kind of not room for him on the roster. I understand that, we just had Freddie Freeman go on the IL, and they brought up a third catcher instead of somebody like Hassan Kim, and not even James Outman. James Outman didn't even get a call up. They thought, let's have a third catcher instead, which is just what they think of James Outman right now. So the thing that is blocking Kim's presence on the major league squad is that they have all 3 of Kike Hernandez, Chris Taylor, and Miguel Rojas. And this was the one issue that we had kind of talked about coming into the season too, with bringing back Kike. Of course, we love Kike, what he does in the postseason, what he does for the fan base, what he does in the clubhouse. It's all super valuable. It also makes Chris Taylor incredibly redundant. Like, him and Chris Taylor, Kike and Chris Taylor serve the same purpose. And Kike, especially the last year, has done it better than Chris Taylor. So the reason why we don't have Kim up on the major league squad is because either one of these guys gets hurt, or you have to DFA someone at some point. And so I think that you probably still won't see Kim come up for like another month if nobody gets hurt, because they're not going to DFA Chris Taylor. Like, if they were going to do that, they would have done that a year ago. And they never did. They're not going to DFA Miguel Rojas. They're certainly not going to DFA Kike Hernandez. So they will probably just wait for an injury to happen. Or if it gets so bad to the point where Andy Pages is just kind of laying down in center field and they have to do something about it, and nobody can hit on the bench, then they'll be forced to make a change. But it's a weird situation right now where the Dodgers, of course, have been so good. They are so loaded with talent, And it is super early in the season, and they will take weeks off like this, like what we just saw. They're not going to feel any pressure to bring Kim up because him getting everyday reps is still very valuable for him right now. And I don't know if they would give him everyday reps in the majors because they might just sit him against lefties and have Kike and or Miguel Rojas get some at-bats against lefties. But quite frankly, yeah, they're going to slow play it with him because the bench is kind of jam-packed with a lot of the same guy, and they're all guys that the team really likes, and that does mean something in terms of what they're going to actually do with them.
You know, I just want to like sit down with like Chris Taylor, Andy Pajes, Kike Hernandez, and I just want to be like, Luka Doncic was traded. Luka Doncic was traded. So if you don't put your shit together, your ass could be traded. And I know you're not expecting it because you're surrounded by stars that are keeping the boat afloat. But in reality, this is one of those relationships. And I don't like comparing sports to relationships. I really don't. Because sports is a business, right? A relationship is not business unless I guess like you can tell me it is if you have like kids in a house and all that. And I understand that. But like typically a relationship, when you start it off, there's no business, right? It's just you both want to be with each other. And so I don't like comparing sports to relationships, but I do feel like this relationship with like Chris Taylor is a bit toxic. It's like those relationships where you're like, I should have broke up with them years ago and I didn't do it. And I just like dealt with it until I like burned down and then I had to like break up with them. And I feel like not that we're there, but we are on that trajectory where it's like, again, we just have a redundant type of player. And so like, I understand like we have money to owe this man. And I understand like maybe you don't want to let go of him, but at the same time, like there's a time to let go and like move on when you're not adding value to an already stacked team. Mm-hmm. And once again, Luka Doncic was traded. Whatever you think is like, this is never going to happen. Papi, it's going to happen. Luka Doncic is a Laker. Like, I don't understand what else, so like all of these players, I don't want to trade anybody. I don't want to let go of anybody. I just need you to, unfortunately, step up and like deliver when it's your call. And I know that's super hard when you're not in the lineup on a regular basis, but that's what comes with the responsibility on being on a championship team. Mm-hmm. I'm not on a championship team. Because that's a lot of work and a lot of responsibility, but that's what is called upon. And when you have players like Tommy Edman and Teoscar Hernandez who have shown up to the Dodgers and literally delivered throughout their entire career with us, at the times when we need them the most, there are players where you're like, what have you done for me lately? It's not that I don't like you as a person. It's not that I don't like you being part of the team. I'm just trying to win. I'm just trying to win. Mm-hmm. And we owe Shohei Ohtani a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to win.
Yeah. I think what's interesting too is like they could just in essence send down Andy Pajes, but I think that Pajes does provide a better bench outfield option than Chris Taylor does. And so it's
do you like if you give me a percentage, it's got to be slim. Like if you're putting your eggs in the basket for Andy Pajes, it's got to be a couple of more eggs. It's not that much. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah. The potential is clearly there. Again, as we saw in the last two games, like he's homered in back-to-back games now. Like he does have pop that comes through on occasion, and the outfield defense is just really bizarre in general right now and this was like the one hesitation we had over Teoscar, right? Like you kind of, now that we've moved Mookie entirely to the infield, you're giving right field to Teoscar, and he doesn't have a ton of range. His arm is fine. Michael Conforto is decent.
Sure.
And Conforto has been very solid with the bat too. He
Absolutely.
deserves to be mentioned. Like there's been he's given very nice production in the middle of the lineup. And he should be playing every day. He shouldn't really be a platoon option. I didn't realize, but his numbers last year, he was actually better against lefties. So he should be rolled out every day. And then you're kind of stuck with, all right, well, I guess Andy Paz is our center fielder. Or we play, I don't know, Chris Taylor. It is an odd position. They could also just have, now that Freddie's back, have any of Kike, Taylor, Rojas play second base and put Tommy in center field. I think they're just trying to find something that can be an established routine for these guys. Yeah. And if Andy Paz can show in this first month of the season that he can be an everyday center fielder in the majors, then that's a huge bonus. So I think that's really what they're looking for, is they're just trying to figure out if in fact like they do have an actual career center fielder in Andy Paz, and that's fine. They should be using this time to figure that out. It's giving varied results.
As you just said, this is the time to figure it out. So I'm not upset. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like we're just here trying to dive into it a little deeper, but I'm not mad at them trying this out. I am not. I'm just saying, like, if we get to the point and it's like the writing is on the wall, the writing is on the damn wall.
Yeah.
So like, that's all I'm saying. But I'm fine with them figuring out. It's very early on. Like I said, we're very lucky. We've got a stacked roster, but like if it's not there, it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And so like how long are we gonna test this out? You know, I don't think that's a very long season, but I'm with you. I'm fine with figuring out figuring out who or like what the roster is that you think is going to provide success over a long period of time versus just this season. I'm all about that. So I'm with you. But if the writing is on the wall, the writing is on the damn wall.
Yeah. And now, thankfully, the writing's not on the wall for Blake Snell because we got injury news for him. He's fine. The quotes are, Dave Roberts is saying it was the best potential outcome after his MRI. It's just some light irritation. After a week or two of rest, he can begin throwing again and get back into the rotation soon enough. The big point I want to make about Snell being on the injured list, this is why, and I find myself saying this every year, never ever complain about having too many starting pitchers. Never. You can't. Everybody during the offseason, they look at how many pitchers the Dodgers have and they're like, what in the world? How are they even going to do this? They have so many starting pitchers. We just started both Justin Robleski and Landon Knack in a series in Washington 2 weeks into the season. After an entire offseason of people being like, they have so many starting pitchers. Yeah. And then we just had Justin Robleski just go out there and die on the mound, which kind of has been his job since he's broken into the majors. I feel bad for the guy, but this just keeps happening to him.
Listen, don't feel so bad for him, because if I was this like, you know, minor league pitcher that a team liked me just to keep bringing me up, even if I had to sacrifice myself every time, hey, I'm gonna do it. You want to keep calling me up? It's fine. No, it is quite funny that like literally they were like, Landon Knack just got called up and he's starting today. Oh, I'm sorry, what? You called him up right now and he's gonna start right now? Okay, all right, okay. It is funny because yes, I think at one point I was like, oh damn, that's a lot of starters. Oh, okay, all right. And no, we damn need them. And I appreciate you, Robleski, because yes, you literally you get thrown out there to die. They're like, good luck. We will do what we can behind you, but good luck. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a level of like trust with him, right? Like you got to feel good about, like they keep calling you back. Yeah. There's something that they see in you. So you can't be too mad, but yes, no. The pitching situation in baseball, it's not just the Dodgers. It's just in baseball, man. Like, I don't know, Ryan. I hate it because pitchers are dying. They're dying. It's such a sad thing to see. It's just frustrating when I look at a game, not the Dodgers, any game, and I see that there were 15 pitchers used in this game. I'm not like, you laugh, but it's like, that is like not even, I'm not even exaggerating.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very sad trajectory that we are going into when it comes to baseball. And like the pitcher that we like grew up with, that's dying. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
If you could pitch an inning, you can find yourself on a roster.
Pretty much. And we've seen that a lot, especially for these first couple weeks for the Dodgers. We've had a few starts where guys just haven't been able to go super deep. Roki is still like getting the hang of things, and so he hasn't been able to go super deep. Dustin May, who has been a great story to start this season, he looked fantastic in his first outing, striking out the side in his first inning, coming back almost like 2 years since he had last pitched, a near death experience. It is great. Yes, great to have Dustin May as a part of this rotation. And we'll have, Tony Gonsolin is throwing rehab assignments. He's somebody who can step in and give some starts at some point soon. Evan Phillips is throwing rehab assignments, so he'll be back in the bullpen. But as you mentioned earlier, the bullpen has been very solid.
So good.
Kirby Yates has been very good. Tanner Scott has reined things in. Jack Dreher has been a very nice piece. I'm sorry, Jack, I was not familiar with your game. You would have been.
The other day, and I said, "Who?"
Yeah. He's been a very nice piece, and he's been also called upon to get a lot of outs, longer outings of relief, and so he's been a godsend. Same with Ben Kasparius, who is able to go multiple innings out of the pen. That's been a huge help. So, again, the Dodgers have such a phenomenal deep bullpen that's been a huge help, given that already we're seeing injuries to the starting pitching. But again, thankfully, Blake Snell's issue is just some irritation. And this is what the Dodgers will also do at this time in the season, is if a pitcher is like, I don't know, I feel like slightly something, they're like, okay, yeah, 15 days. Yeah, come in here. We're calling Neil Ella trash. You get 15 days. That's and it's he could have easily just like slept weird, and they'll put a pitcher on the injured list as soon as they possibly can, because with the Dodgers, of course, have the luxury of having so many different arms that they can do that. And at the same time, it's all about the end of the season. They don't want to risk doing anything that's going to cause any sort of long-term injury. So just being very cautious.
Absolutely. Cautious. There's no need to push. There's no need to push right now. Like, so I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I don't mind if you want to put everybody on the injury list. Let Kike pitch an entire game. I don't care. It is. And I wouldn't mind seeing that, because, he could do it. He could do it. He might get rocked, but it would be fun. It would be fun to watch.
And, of course, there's another pitcher that will be coming eventually, and that is Shohei Ohtani. He keeps throwing bullpen sessions, so it's getting closer, which is going to be incredible. Once he does, I just think about that. I haven't really thought about that yet. When he actually does take the mound for the Dodgers, that's going to be insane. That's going to be so cool.
I'm like, because I work there, as we've talked about, and it's always like bobbleheads, giveaways are such a busy day. Mm-hmm. The day that Ohtani pitches, it's like, y'all just take the day off. Just walk into the stadium. Don't park. Don't drive. It's going to be one of the craziest days. Like, I'm a little nervous about it. Whenever it's announced that he's going to pitch, it's going to be one of those days where everyone is going to show up and see this. And I don't blame him. I am for that. He has to pitch. He's got to go out there and try again. Mm-hmm. I understand that he has provided such, I don't even know what the word is for a designated hitter joining a team for the very first year and then winning the World Series. I don't know if there's anything to describe that, right? Mm-hmm. And I understand you don't want to lose that or mess that up, but you have to let him try and pitch again. You have to let him do both. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen after this year? I don't know. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of risk involved with it, obviously, but like you have to let him. And it's gonna be such an epic day. And it's gonna be awesome. We should take the day off. We should
Absolutely
take the day off, call it a holiday, whatever. Because it's gonna be great. But we have to, right? Like, there's no way you don't let him do that.
No,
there's no way.
No, because the one person who wants to see Shohei Ohtani pitch more than anyone is Shohei Ohtani. So, like, like he is in full force, doing everything he can to get back on the mound. And the Dodgers don't want to stop him. Because quite frankly, if you are able to add him to this rotation, and if you could make it a 6-man rotation where you could have all of these other starters in it, and if all of them are healthy come playoff time, that's an unbeatable rotation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like, I don't want to face Shohei Ohtani in the middle of the playoffs. If he's pitching in the playoffs, that means that he has had a successful season.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking see him in the playoffs. I don't want to see him pitching at me. I don't want to throw at him. I don't want to do any of those things. That'd be so exciting. It'd be so exciting. We'll see. We're far away from that. There's so much that can happen. But it's going to be very exciting for him to get back on the mound. It really is.
Yes. Now, you were working pregame for Ohtani bobblehead night, correct?
I was.
Was that more navigable? I guess.
So compared to last year, it was. The game started earlier. Last year, the game started at the typical time, 7:10.
Right.
And this year, they made the game at 5:35, I think was the time.
Yeah.
And I think that helped, right? Like, I think people just took the day off and they were like, we're just going to go to Dodger Stadium at 11 in the morning. Yeah. And I think that alleviated some of it. And then they like announced it on social media, like everyone's going to get a bobblehead. So like, don't worry, don't trip. Even though last year they also upped the amount of bobbleheads for Shohei Ohtani. This time they were like, everyone's going to get one. They just didn't want to deal with it. But the game was earlier, and I think that helped. I think that alleviated some of it. But it was nuts. It was crazy. And like when they dropped off, like we get, I get a bobblehead. I work there, so I get one as an employee. And they dropped off our boxes in our department. And my boss was like, or is there anything special? Like, joking, because she didn't think, how like in the other ones, it's like, oh, a gray jersey, this, like, there's like specialty ones. Mm-hmm. And so we jokingly asked, thinking that the answer was no, because we hadn't heard anything. And the guy that dropped off the box was just like, yeah, there is something special, but we don't know what it is. And we were like, I'm sorry, squeeze? He's like, no, yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's an indication on the outside of the box, because in last year's bobblehead with the dog, on the box, there was like a moon and there was a paw print, and that's how you knew you got the special one. Yeah. And he was like, I don't know if there's anything on the outside, but there's some special. Bye. And just dropped off the boxes. And I was the first ones to grab it. And then I heard like 2 people after me got this freaking gray one. So I was so close. So close. I didn't get it.
So that was the special one this time again. Was it a road gray jersey?
A gray bat. A silver bat. That's what you got. Like a silver slugger.
Okay.
That's what you got. So my bat was not silver. That's what was special about it.
No. Dang.
I know. And I actually don't know if the box right now has like a sign on it. Like I haven't heard about that. I just know that it's a silver bat that came with the special Ohtani one.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. That's dang. Well, there's like 3 more this season, right? I think he's got 4 bobblehead nights this year.
This one is coming back. They're gonna do another one of this one, and then they're gonna do the this was the MVP. I literally, it's right over there. I can walk away for 90 seconds and grab it. Over there. They're gonna do another MVP, and they're gonna do 2 of the like stolen bases. So it'll be 4 total. Maybe even they add another. It wouldn't surprise me if like you hear they added a 5th one. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think have you ever seen that? I've never seen the Dodgers, or I've never heard of any team doing multiple bobblehead nights of the same bobblehead. Of course, like I have like a couple different Kershaws and stuff like that. You'll get like different ones throughout the years. I've never heard same season, same bobblehead on multiple nights.
I have not either, and I'm curious if the box is going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like, is it the exact same bobblehead, or is there something different? I've never heard this either, but I mean, the Dodgers know what they're doing.
Yeah.
People want this damn bobblehead. You know what I'm saying? So,
Thank
they know
God that they actually are giving it to everyone now. Like that's good, because it probably got too crazy.
For Ohtani,
Yeah.
not that that's going to happen for
Right.
other bobbleheads.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
That's
make
funny.
sure we say that.
Yeah.
Only
yeah, exactly. Just for,
not for the
good.
rest of the bobbleheads. Yeah. The rest of the giveaways are still 30,000. So the Dodgers still give the most out of any team in baseball. 30,000 giveaways minimum every single time. So as long as you get there at a decent time before the game, you should get whatever giveaway we're giving. If you show up when the inning has already started, you're not going to get it because you showed up late.
Yeah.
30,000 minimum is what the Dodgers usually do. So
okay,
we're pretty good about it.
Typically they'll go like 40, right? Because like Monday is a Hello Kitty night. So
correct.
So
probably 40 for Hello Kitty, probably 40 for Freddie Freeman on Friday with the walk-off. That's the next one, the big next one. But like minimum 30. You know what I mean? It's like you really have to lag to not get the giveaway is the point. The Dodgers always give the most. But yes, 40 is typically on the big ones that they like to like do. 30 minimum.
Okay. Well, this is analysis that people can't get anywhere else. Like this is the true inside stuff. Like, this is what the people want. Okay. Obviously the Ohtani bobblehead is a highly sought after. I had a friend text me a few days ago, and she was like, my parents really want to go see Shohei Ohtani play. And first she asked, because they know nothing about baseball. They're a Japanese family that really wants to see Shohei Ohtani play. And she's like, does he play every day? And I see he has bobblehead nights. Should we try to go to one of those? And I'm like, first of all, assuming he's healthy, he plays every day. And the bobblehead nights, they would be a lot of fun. The bobblehead would be really cool. They're also the most popular, and that game's probably going to sell out, and it's probably the most expensive ticket. I haven't seen, but I would imagine, because the Dodgers and the way they do their dynamic pricing, typically those I know the pricing for Hello Kitty night is it's up there despite being a Monday night. So that's good that with Ohtani they are alleviating things. And I think also, and you mentioned that, I don't know for a fact, and I don't know if you know this for a fact, I don't know if anyone does, but that game oddly started at 5:30 on a weeknight, which we never see during the season. And so I genuinely wonder if Shohei Ohtani bobblehead night is the reason why they changed their game time. You know what I mean? Like,
just said that. Just said that. Yes, just said that. They absolutely, that was the reason. Absolutely. It makes no other sense. We do think that was the reason. And because it was like, why this day? It was a Wednesday. Why on a Wednesday are we doing a 5:30 game? No, it was to alleviate. Absolutely. And the Dodgers won't get credit, but in reality they should, for making sure everybody that attended that game got a bobblehead. Because that's why they were going to that game. Like, they're not going to get enough credit for that. They're not. Yeah. But that was a boss move.
Yes. And of course, Shohei Ohtani then delivers on his bobblehead night, and we will end it with this. Watching that walk-off home run. I mean, I watched, like, I was at a restaurant and we were watching that game, and Ohtani comes up in the ninth, and I knew like Ohtani was about to come up. I don't remember who was hitting in front of him, but I'm like, oh, this is, I think it was Roaz. I'm like, this could happen, right? It should happen. Like and the first pitch, first pitch to Ohtani. And it's kind of, it's just amazing. It's truly amazing. It is so much fun. It's so much fun to witness.
I said this to you at work when I was bitching to you about a Dodgers account that I saw on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
They were complaining. I think it was game 7 against the Braves when they were down and they came back and won it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were complaining and like literally they got roasted. They got cooked by everybody because it was like, bro, they came back and won. You're the defending champions and you're bitching about your team in game 7 or 8. It's like, read the room, right? Something that like Dodger fans have to keep in mind is like how lucky we are that like legit every game, even if the Dodgers are down, you have to feel there is a chance the Dodgers are going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's the 9th inning, whether we're home or away and the Dodgers are down. The Dodgers have such a roster where like you have to realize how lucky you are that you're a Dodgers fan because they're never out of any game.
Mm-hmm.
And enjoy the journey. Enjoy the season. There's going to be losses. There's going to be downs. But damn, those walk-offs, those moments where freaking Ohtani is hitting a goddamn walk-off on his bobblehead, you enjoy that. You soak that in. And the fact that that's every game, man, we are lucky. We are lucky.
It's so good. It's so good. It was... I almost got emotional watching it because I'm like, damn, this is so.
You were like, are you fucking kidding me?
I was like, this is not. And not only is this the most fun I've had being a Dodger fan, it's the most fun I've had being a fan of anything ever. like just to like.
And also, like, if someone tells you, like, I hate the Dodgers, you're like, yeah, I get that.
yeah.
I would hate you too if I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, I get it. It makes sense.
Sorry.
But well, hopefully people will get on base a little more for Shohei. Only, it's just solo home runs. It's not able to drive anyone in because he's not getting many opportunities to do so. So the Dodgers are back home. Freddie Freeman bobblehead night. And what, the Cubs, right? It's the Cubs this weekend, and then the Rockies. So we'll get back after it next week. Bo Benson he's not been kicked off the show. He's just not available. not yet. He's just not available tonight. So for Bo, my name is Ryan Bershinger. She's Monse Bolaños. Follow us at SickPod Dodgers on Twitter. And of course, follow the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us, the Sick Podcast, the Dodgers Zone. So until next time, everyone. Domo arigato, everyone. Thank you very much.
Ciao.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, the Dodgers Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.